Vision 3 then turns his attention to Rachel, but Cassie and Marco manage to get to the construction site and manage to start a bulldozer, which gives enough of a distraction for Jake to morph Tiger and for Rachel to escape. Then the Animorphs start another bulldozer, which crashes into one of the Yeerk fighters, causing it to explode. Book, could we talk for a moment? I was really with you there for a while. You were turning out to be a really decent book. And then you did this. Why on earth did you do this? Oh, what's wrong with this? Well, let's look at this, shall we? First off, exactly what threat do bulldozers have against these alien warships? I could have bought that the Yeerks might be unfamiliar with them, and their unknown threat managed to cause confusion, but then the bulldozer hit one of the Yeerk ships and managed to make it explode. These things are designed for major combat with lasers. They enter and exit different atmospheres like it's nobody's business. Are you seriously suggesting that not only could this slow-moving hunk of Earth steel damage this large hunk of alien alloy, but that it could cause it to explode? And even if I bought all that, how in God's name did the Animorphs manage to start not one, but two bulldozers? Are you suggesting that these kids had the great fortune to stumble upon two bulldozers that had been sitting there for months with the keys in the ignition? Or does Marco have hot wiring skills that have never been previously mentioned and will never be mentioned again? For me, the total logic fuck of this scene really releases a lot of the air of what was turning out to be a pretty decent book. So, after the Animorphs escape, Rachel gives Melissa a note that makes her feel better for like an hour, and like my enthusiasm, the book just kinda peters out. Post-book follow-up. This book marks some major improvements over the first one. Now that we've had all the really important exposition slow down and focus on smaller missions and smaller details, it doesn't feel nearly as rushed. The Animorphs themselves have toned down their approach. Learning their lesson from the invasion, they're no longer plunging headfirst into danger without thinking, instead sticking with spying and information gathering missions. They practice morphing, they actively avoid combat, and they spend more time talking details over. While this means the Animorphs are acting smarter, they're still pretty stupid. There are things I mentioned earlier, like the hypocrisy concerning the rapists and the kids with the gun, and them getting the cat stuck up in the tree, as well as Rachel holding back information, and Jake not telling Rachel that he morphed to flee till the last minute for absolutely no good reason. While these are strikes against the characters, they aren't strikes against the book. The Animorphs still have a lot of growing up to do before they fit into their role as Earth's only hope. The book has strong themes concerning family ties. We have the broken household of the Chapmans that remind the Animorphs the strong bonds they have with their own families. Well, except Tobias, of course. For pretty much everyone in the world, humanity is an abstract concept. One cannot really grasp the scope that is humanity. So while the Animorphs know in some basic sense that they're fighting for humanity, it's really their tangible, physical families that they're fighting for. We get our first good look at Rachel's family. Her parents are divorced. Rachel's father lives a few states away as a TV weatherman, while her mother is a lawyer. Rachel has two younger siblings, and the three share a strong sibling bond. The combination of this all-woman household and the fact that Rachel's mom really wears the pants here, we get a good idea where Rachel's strong feminist sense comes from. Despite the better pacing and some really good scenes, the book does have some strong drawbacks. While it's great to finally focus on Rachel, I don't feel like we got as much character development as we should have. The rest of the Animorphs are mostly background characters this time around. Right now, Tobias is the one who's having the most interesting character developments, but we won't catch up with him until the next book. This is mostly Rachel's story, but Rachel isn't interesting enough yet to carry a book on her own. This combined with the really stupid ending turns a really great book into a just okay book. I don't want to get too used to this rating, but I'm going to have to give Animorphs number 2, The Visitor, another 6 out of 10.